And let's keep putting in that work, my party people. So here we go. First things first, we got to read that question. So it says here that if the sales tax rate is 7%, what is the amount of sales tax that Eric will pay rounded to the nearest cent? Okay, everybody. With all that said, y'all tell me, is this exactly like the problem that we just did? Is this exactly like the problem we just did? Is it exactly? Yeah, we see the same number, 7%. We see different prices for the items, but are we looking for the same thing? Are we calculating the same thing? Exactly. No, we are not trying to find that final payment. We are only concerned with finding the amount of the sales tax. Right there. Look at that right there. We are only concerned with what is the amount of sales tax. And because when we read this, because it says the sales tax rate is 7%, and it doesn't specify whether it's the sneakers, the t-shirt, or the pair of shorts, the assumption is that it applies to all of the items. Everybody, does that make sense? Because there is no specific item specified, this 7% applies across the board. Right on. And I'm very happy that some of us took pause and read that question very carefully. It's very important. It's way too important. So with that, here what we're gonna do is to find the amount of the tax, we need to apply the percent of the tax. We'll apply the percent of the tax times the pre-tax total. So let's just find that total first, tax it at 7%, and we are good. So how do we get that total? Well, what we see here is that the sneakers are $45, the t-shirt is $20, and then the pair of shorts are $30. So when we add those together, we will have what? So we have $45, $20, and then $30. This isn't going to be terrible. It's going to be 0, 0, 5, and then 4 plus 2 plus 3. That will be 9. And so, boom, the total before tax will be $95. So we are going to be applying 7% times the $90. And so that would be 0.07 multiplied by 90. And once we calculate that, we know that we're done. We know that this will give us the final answer. And let me correct myself real quick there. Sorry, sometimes I talk ahead of my mind and I'm writing at the same time, so you know what happens. So I appreciate y'all calling me out there, but the point remains. I'm very thankful that we're able to read the question first. Then from reading the question first, we have the information in front of us and we can make the decision for the right move. So with that, nah, Gina, I was not testing you guys that time. That was an honest mistake. I appreciate y'all. So with that, again, it is 95, so I appreciate the patience there. But now all we got to do is finish the calculation and we're good. So with that, there we are. Let's do 95 multiplied by 0.07. And here we go. 5 times 7, that's going to give us 35. Then we have 9 times 7, that'll be 63. Then carry the 3, that'll be 66. So we have 665, but we're not quite done because up next, what we need to do is bring those decimals back, and that'll be 1, 2, 1, 2. So that would be $6.65 of just tax. And there we go, my party people. There we go. So as nasty as the problem looked in the beginning, again, the question remains, who is really truly feeling like these problems, as crazy numbers as we can throw your way, are still doable at the end of the day? Let's go. And shout out to Andrea, because I saw that you were confused earlier and now you're really building up a head of steam here. I love seeing it. Remember, one problem better, one problem at a time. So I appreciate everybody here who started the class off a little confused and stuck it through to get to the point of confidence that we are here now. Like, I love seeing it, everybody. You guys are amazing at this. And it just takes a little bit of time to let yourself get acclimated. So with that, we got time. Let's keep it going here, my party people. Let's get it done. So, oh yeah. So let me address that before I actually pause it for the next problem. So we do not need to round anything because the tax amount that we found is already only on cents. If it was on the next decimal place over, then we would round up or down to the nearest cent. But because there's nothing even here, no rounding is necessary, and that extra piece of information was exactly that. It was just extra, not needed to actually solve the problem. So just wanted to mention that. I got you. And then on top of that, for anybody asking what would we have done if we're trying to find the final price, we would have taken the $6.65 and added it to the 95, getting $101.65. Just like that. So glad you guys asked those questions. I appreciate y'all asking those clarifying questions. Now let's go ahead and move it over to the next one. So let's handle the first one here of this new set. So the question that we see here is, what is the area of the pond? So my party people, with that said, hey, we're looking at area and we can see that we're dealing with a circular pond. So we can go ahead and start off by writing the area formula. Pi r squared. Now, up next, we want to understand the information. So the circular pond is designed such that the distance from the center to any point along the edge is 18 meters. So with that said, if we're drawing the circular pond, just like that, what we know is that this is the radius. The center to any point along the edge, that's 18 meters. So with that, my party people, do we have to do anything before we plug in to the formula? Or can we just go ahead and straight up plug in? Do we have to double it or cut it in half? Correct, we don't. We do not need to do anything at all because the area formula takes the radius and we are given the radius. So that's it. And when it comes to the answer choices, notice that they all have pi included. So we don't need to convert to 3.14. We're fine. So here we are. Area equals pi multiplied by 18 squared. All we have to do now is figure out what 18 squared is, which we can perform pretty quickly here on the side. 8 times 8, that's 64. 1 times 8 is 8. Carry the 6 is 14. From there, we'll plug in that 0 so we can start working on the 1 here. 1 times 8, that's going to be 8. 1 times 1, that's going to be 1. Add everything together, and we get 412, carry the 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. So therefore, my area is going to be 324 pi square units. And there we go, my party people. That's how we get the final answer here of C, 324 pi. So with that, I know that one was probably a gimme for a lot of us. So let's go ahead and keep it moving forward here. I'm not going to tell you when or how or why, but we will run into some pretty different problems, and it's up to you to pay attention on what we have. So I'm not trying to drive up your anxiety on purpose. I'm trying to make sure that you stay calm, cool, and collected and let the problem come as it is. So with that, let's keep it going.